Oi, eu sou a Katy, esse é o canal Ensaio, muito bem-vinda, muito bem-vindo. No vídeo de hoje eu vou trazer um arquivo ensaio, que é uma entrevista que eu fiz com a violinista e vocalista Sharon Corr, que é da banda Corrs. Na ocasião ela tinha vindo para o Brasil para divulgar o seu álbum solo, The Same Sun. E essa entrevista foi ao ar no Território da Música, que é um site que já não existe mais, mas eu tô trazendo aqui pro ensaio porque eu acho que essa entrevista foi muito legal de fazer e eu espero que vocês achem muito legal de assistir também. Se você gostar, deixa aí o seu like, não se esqueça de se inscrever também no canal, porque fortalece aqui pra gente, tá bom? Então aproveita a entrevista e até a próxima. So you just got here from Rio de Janeiro.
Yeah.
How was it? You got to meet some fans, and did you see the city? Did you see around?
Yeah, I got to see quite a lot, which was great because it's kind of been a dream of mine to see Rio and just to come to Brazil, you know. So yeah, it was amazing. We were in Lima Beach, we were in Copacabana, we were up in Sugarloaf. We did all the touristy things, which was really, really great. And I even did a helicopter yesterday.
Really?
Yeah, which was super. So I loved it.
Oh, really?
It's really cool. Yeah.
And I heard that you got to visit Cartola's which is an organization for the children that teaches music. How is it?
It was a great experience. The kids were so lovely and so dedicated to the violin. You know, it's a really tough instrument, and you know, a tough one to choose for children because it takes a long while before they start to sound good when they're playing it. You know, it takes ages. But they sounded great, and they taught me a piece which I'm hoping to play on one of the shows this week. So a piece by Cartola. So which I fell in love with, and I had to play with them, and it was really, really lovely. But a great centre, and they're doing amazing work for people, for children who come from underprivileged backgrounds. So it's a great idea, and I think music is great therapy for people, and it's great that they will have an instrument and possibly have a career from it. So, yeah, it's very positive.
Good. So let's talk a little bit about your second album, The Same Sun, which it's been released here in Brazil first.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did that decision come up?
Well, it just kind of happened. It's a funny thing. I remember when I was recording my first solo album, Dream of You, years ago, and myself and my husband having a chat. And, you know, I was talking about the fact that I want to go to Brazil. I've never been to Brazil. The Corrs were all over the world and we never got to Brazil. And what a shame it was. And then I was also very much aware of, on Twitter and then on the websites, the amount of fans that we had here in Brazil. And I got in touch with them, you know, almost 6 or 7 years ago, and we've been tweeting back and forth, and we've got to really know each other since. And they've been a constant source of inspiration for me to keep playing music, to just, you know, it's really so important to have fans out there, and they've been very supportive. So I mean, it's a very beautiful country. I knew that. I knew that the people were really special. I knew the women were absolutely gorgeous. All the band players that I've ever worked with were trying to come down to Brazil with me just to see the women. But yeah, no, it's a very exotic place to us, you know, so who wouldn't want to be here?
That's very good to know. So you're about to play your first show here in Brazil.
Yeah.
It's going to happen here in São Paulo.
Yeah.
And you're going to do 2 live shows, and one of them you will record a DVD, right?
Yeah.
Can you tell us about it? A little bit about it?
Well, this is a very special show because it really launches, I think, a new path in my career. It launches the new record, which is a record that's really, really special to me. And I've spent the last 2 years writing and recording, and it means a hell of a lot to me. So it's very, very exciting for me to get up on stage in a country that I've never played in before, and to get up in a totally new territory and experience something completely different. And I think that that's great inspiration to make a DVD because there's so much life in things that are new, you know what I mean? So, and then I also am really aware that the audience are a great audience.
Yeah.
And I know that you love your music. I know that you don't hold back and watch. I know that you join in, and that's really super for making the DVD. So, Those are the reasons, really. I mean, it was about time that I made a live DVD, so this is it.
Yeah, that's great. That's going to happen here in São Paulo.
We
get to see it.
Yeah.
Still on the same song, compared to Dream of You, the writing process, how was it for you? Did you feel a little bit more relaxed once you had launched yourself as a solo artist already, or it didn't made any influence on the songwriting?
No, it did. I think when the Corrs first stopped working together, I continued playing and writing and singing, and it was never really a choice for me to stop, because I just didn't want to, So it was just very natural for me to become a solo artist, to make solo records. But the transition was unusual, For me, I was used to playing with 3 other people, and they were my family, and we all had responsibility for the gigs. And then all of a sudden, I was on my own, which was something I wanted to do. It was a journey I wanted to take. But I think it took me a little while to get used to it, and to find out who I am as a solo artist, to find out who I am on stage as a solo artist, as a performer. Who am I? I'm not just one of 4. I am just me now, And I almost needed to discover myself. So I did that while making the first album, and I did that while touring the first album, and I felt by the time it got to the second album, I'm relaxed now, and I know who I am, and the songwriting process was a lot easier in a way, because I'm kind of a lot more confident, I'm a lot more comfortable with myself, although I always wrote in the chorus, so songs like Radio and So Young, or songs that I wrote, but it's a different process writing for yourself. And this time I decided to be brave and write with other people, which is something I'd never really done before. And it's a circumstance where you're quite vulnerable, because they can see how good you are. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of, they know if you're good or you're bad or whatever.
If you have something really inside of you that you're not quite secure to show it.
Yeah, and the thing is that you have to, that's the first thing you have to do.
Yeah.
You have to be fearless, and whatever is most vulnerable is the first thing you want to get out there, because that's great songwriting. That's what touches other people. That's how we identify with each other, through the lyrics and the music, and because we're identifying similar experiences. So you have to write about your most vulnerable moments, your most difficult moments, or your happiest moments.
Yes.
You need to write it all and not be afraid. And I wrote with my producer on this album, which was great. He's an amazing guy, Mitchell Froome. I love working with him, and was really happy he decided to do the record. And that was great. And then I wrote with another guy called Don Mesco, an Irish singer-songwriter, really, really great writer. And then I wrote on my own as well. So yeah, it was a good experience.
And it sounds great. I got the chance to hear the
Oh,
album.
thanks.
And I got the feeling that some songs like Raindrops and Take a Minute, which is the single, right?
Yeah.
I got the feeling that it sounds a little bit vintage, kind of a 60s sounds. Is that something that when you listen to the songs when you're at home, does that make an influence on the record?
Yeah, it does. I mean, I suppose my first experiences musically are kind of showing up on this record, and I would have been listening to my mum singing Karen Carpenter songs, and my mum had a voice like Karen Carpenter. In some ways she was almost better. She was a really great singer. So we grew up listening to like the Eagles and the Carpenters, and then further on it was the Police and Genesis and Peter Gabriel and Prince and all sorts of different people. But I kind of felt that on this album, on some of it only, I kind of went right back to my beginnings, and it's more like Dusty Springfield and Joni Mitchell.
I got the Joni Mitchell.
They were a little bit before my time, thankfully, but I love their music, and I love the songwriting process is very freeing, and it's also very intelligent. I find some of the music today is kind of, I suppose, lacking depth lyrically and musically as well. There's a lot of overproduction in my eyes, and you're not really hearing the melody and stuff like that. So that's in some music. You're not hearing that in Adele. She's amazing, great lyrics, great songwriting. But so I that's what I aspire to, and yeah, you can certainly hear those influences on the album.
Great. I thought that was beautiful. And take a minute. You have a video clip out now.
Yeah. It's just that we shot it in Barcelona.
Barcelona.
Yeah, which was a lovely experience. It's a beautiful, beautiful city. And I'm riding in an old Cadillac in it.
Oh,
so
yeah, I saw some pictures.
Yeah,
I love the look.
The look is very sort of Jackie O and very vintage. Yeah.
Look beautiful, by the way.
Thank you.
So the Brazilian fans are thrilled to have you here, especially because we never got the chance to see the Corrs. And is there a possibility that maybe one day you guys are going to reunite for a tour?
I really don't know, to be honest. I mean, we haven't spoken about it in a long time. I don't know, my sister Andrea is now pregnant with her second baby. And, you know, that's very important, and that's what she's doing right now. So, you know, I'm sorry, I don't really have an answer to that one.
No problem.
Well, probably not, I don't know.
We're waiting.
You can have me though, I'll be here.
We're thrilled to have you. So after the Corrs split, you become a singer, a front woman.
Yeah.
And you spoke a little bit earlier about that on stage to find yourself musically. And another thing that you did, you joined the Voice of Ireland.
Yeah.
And how was that experience for you?
I really. The Voice was an amazing experience, an incredible amount of work. It is, you know, you're responsible for all these young artists on your team and to try and get them as far as you can in the competition to give them a big enough platform for their career. And it's kind of disappointing when they don't make it and they don't get voted in and that sort of thing. But it was great. My kind of motto for my solo career has been to be open to everything. Yeah. For me, is to try new things, because then I think I grow as a person, I grow as a songwriter. It's just so good for you to try new things and not to be afraid to do it. I'd rather try and make a mistake than not try at all, if you know what I mean. Yeah. So, and I love The Voice. The Voice is a very nurturing format. I don't like shows like The X Factor or the Idol shows, because I really think it's a circus. You know, I think it's kind of, they're sort of laughing at people, and it's not very encouraging, and it's not very much about music either, I don't think. So I think The Voice is a good format in the fact that you can't choose the person because of the way they look. You know what I mean? You can't choose them because they're an amazing performer. You can only choose them because it's a blind audition and all you can hear is their voice. Yeah. And that's quite something to choose. It's amazing, because you immediately just go for the one that touches your heart.
Yeah, and you have
makes you feel something strong, and you turn around and you don't know what the person's going to be like, and it really doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, if you look through kind of the history of music and the history of rock and roll, it's not always pretty faces up there. More often than not, it isn't. Yeah. You know what I mean? But it's great voices, and that's really what's important, and great music.
Yeah, that's very good to know. So Sharon, could you leave a message for our fans who are coming to see you on the two live shows you're going to play here in São Paulo?
Okay. Well, I cannot wait to play this week in São Paulo, my 2 shows. I'm very, very excited, and I can't wait to see you all there, and come along and sing with me for the night.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.